Hi and welcome to Distilled 405. I'm Dan, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Clynelish 14-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey from the Highlands of Scotland. It's bottled at 46%, and I'm pretty sure it is natural color. It's very, very light, and it doesn't seem to be, for 14-year-olds, it doesn't seem to be any darker than it really should be. So I believe it is 100% ex-bourbon cask. I don't get any sherry in this whiskey, so most likely looking at 100% ex-bourbon casks, I'm guessing. Clynelish is a very interesting distillery because they don't have a very extensive range. The only one we really have around here, at least in Oklahoma, is the 14-year-old. I think they have a distiller's edition, and maybe one or two really old bottles lying around from the distillery. But most everything else you're going to find from Clynelish is going to be from the independent bottlers, which I've heard those can be really good if you can find them for a good price. So this one's bottled at 46%. Like I said, let's check out the nose and see how it is. Immediately on the nose, I get a very salty brininess to this whiskey. I get a lot of waxiness, and kind of a salty, waxy teak wood smell. Kind of reminds me of like what you would, some resorts would have that teak wood. It mixed with the ocean air. It's very pleasant to smell. A little bit of oakiness in the background. Again, at 14 years old, we would expect that. And then a lot of fresh orchard fruits. It's very fruity, very fruit forward. Ripe fruits, green apple, maybe some pineapple, and a little bit of mango on the palate. Wow. Huge burst of flavor. 46% isn't overpowering. It's not too hot. It's very well done. Good job, Clynelish, for bottling at 46%, because I think this whiskey being so fruit forward and that salty brininess, that 46% really brings some richness into it. It's not overly spirity at all. On the palate, I get a lot of that saltiness and brininess once again. I believe it's a non-peated whiskey. I'm almost 100% sure it's non-peated. But there's still like a slight, you would get almost a hint of smokiness, and I believe that's probably due to maybe the distillery character, or maybe the oak kind of almost making you think there's some smokiness there. Very fruity. Almost fruit basket fruity. Not any red fruits, more of the brighter green, yellow, orange fruits. Fruit baskety flavor. Still some saltiness. You would think that there's been some salt almost injected into this bottle, which we know there hasn't been, but that maybe being aged by the sea really does give it that sea saltiness, maybe penetrating the wood or what have you in the warehouse. So very much sea salty. In the finish, you get a lot more of the oak in the finish. There's not as much oak in the nose or in the palate as there is in the finish. The finish, you really get that oakiness, that tanniny old oak. 14 years, it's picked up a lot of oak in those 14 years, so you're getting to see a lot of that. The fruits subside, and you get a more oak forward experience in the finish. It's still fruity, but the fruits kind of go to more of a bitter fruits or more of an older fruit, not as fresh or ripe. The finish is like medium bodied or medium length. The flavor and the fullness of the whiskey is very full bodied, very mouth coating at that 46% ABV. It's a great whiskey. I would rate it 89 out of 100. I think it's great. I think for the money, especially being at, like, we can get this bottle around 44 or 45 bucks all the time here in Oklahoma. So that is a killer price for such a naturally presented 46% ABV 14-year-old whiskey that has a lot to offer, that's unique too. It's not like everything else. It's gonna really challenge your palate and be very different than what you've experienced in other whiskeys before. I hope to see more from Clynelish. I hope that they extend their range. I'd like to see maybe an 18-year-old. A 12-year-old would be really cool too, especially if it was bottled at a high proof. I hope they stay with the natural presentation and the price doesn't continue to go up. But it's a very good whiskey. It's challenging and it's different, and I think it's definitely worth picking up a bottle of it if you can find it. Hopefully it's should be readily available in your area. But yeah, not much else really to say about it. It's a Highland whiskey, and it's good stuff, so I recommend it. Thank you for watching Distilled 4 or 5. Look for more videos to come. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.